So will a Canadian team finally win the Stanley Cup, and is it a good thing for the sport? Alright, so appreciate if you guys drop a like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already. I do want to say a big thank you to all the new viewers and subscribers. It's kind of crazy, almost 1,000 subscribers in a week is just nutty numbers for me. So again, thank you so much. But let's talk about the big thing here. Is it good for the NHL for a team from Canada to win the Stanley Cup? Now, the last Stanley Cup winner was in Montreal for a Canada team in 1993. The Canadians had a very good team. Obviously, they won the whole damn thing. And outside of a few deep runs by some teams, but ultimately not getting over the top, for the past 31 years, it's been the USA, or the market based in the USA, that have won these Stanley Cups. And while you'll have some great viewership moments and the Winter Classics, they'll get crazy numbers in Canada. In some markets, not a huge dip, but you've seen a slight dip in viewership because I feel like there's frustration. When I talk to a lot of my Canadian friends, I played a little bit of hockey up in Canada, play NHL 24, all the NHL games, so I have a lot of friends up in Canada. We'll talk on Xbox and things of that nature. They have been frustrated and angered with how Bettman has dealt with the NHL, and it's for a multitude of reasons. Whether it's not bringing back a team in Quebec, the mismanagement of having some of these teams like the Arizona Coyotes that are struggling and not bringing them up north where they would probably prosper, and just overall kind of the unfair advantages they feel some of these expansion teams have gotten in comparison to some of the Canadian teams in the past. To me, this is how I look at it. I understand why a lot of Canadians are frustrated. That'd be like, just comparison here. Baseball is the pastime in the United States. Now, baseball's not my favorite sport. Hockey is my favorite sport. But that would be like the Toronto Blue Jays just running roughshod over the league and just winning 30 straight World Series. It'd be like it would feel a little dirty, right? You want to give them a few World Series, you want to see them have success, but if they just had extreme dominance, I could understand, like, man, like this ain't even their pastime. And I will say I've seen this from American fans, and it's a little goofy to say this. I want a U.S. team to win, but like most of those players are Canadian hockey players on their roster, so still Canadians are winning the Stanley Cup, just not the cities themselves. But to answer the title of this video, I think it would be a great thing for the sport. Hockey has prospered down south. Now, the Arizona Coyotes, they're down to Utah, and we'll see how it goes in Mormon City, but the Vegas Golden Knights, Tampa Bay Lightning, the Florida Panthers, after getting some proper ownership, Carolina Hurricanes, like you have seen successful hockey markets down south. And I think for the continual success of the NHL, that is extremely important. You do want to play in southern markets, non-traditional hockey markets, and hopefully make more hockey fans to make the sport even bigger. But I would say I think it would be finally nice to see a Canadian team raise the Stanley Cup, because we have a unique situation in Canada. And it's weird because even rivalries, right? Vancouver, Calgary, Winnipeg, Toronto, Montreal. You're having fans of all these different markets in Canada actually rooting for the Oilers to finally break through. Now, if there wasn't as big of a drought and you had a Canadian team win every 3, 4, 5 years or something of that nature, I think we'd see a little bit less of it. But it is kind of an interesting thing to notice how Canada really does support this one team, and hopefully they break through regardless of who their actual hometown team is. And considering how important hockey is to their culture, yeah, I mean, it would be kind of nice to see. But to kind of quote one of my friends when I talked to him about this, and he's based out of Toronto, it would be gratifying to see a Canadian team beat a down south team like the Florida Panthers. Those are his words, not mine. And while there's a lot to talk about of why certain teams have struggled over the years, whether it's been ownership meddling, poor roster management, poor drafting and scouting, I could go on and on. The Oilers finally have a great chance to break through and end this drought. Now, I will have my prediction of the series upcoming during the week. I'm working on a few different videos and kind of want to get them properly prepared. But yeah, do I think it's good for the sport? Absolutely. I think it would be terrific. And this is going to be one of these playoffs where I don't have a feeling either way, right? It would be nice to see the Oilers kind of break that 31-year drought. But then on the flip side, it would be kind of cool to see the Florida Panthers win their first Stanley Cup in their franchise's history. I like how Florida plays. I love the talent on the Oilers. You have McDavid with the opportunity to win a Stanley Cup, which I think would be amazing because I think he's just such a special player, once in a generation type player. So it would be nice to, get that monkey off his back. And for the Florida Panthers, I mean, how Zito has managed that roster, and with even upcoming some of the decisions they have to make, this might be their last hurrah. Not saying they won't be competitive next year, but they have a lot of decisions in this upcoming offseason to make around certain UFAs. So I don't really have a horse in this race, but I do think for the NHL, it would be good for Canada to win one. And it would be good for Bettman's sake that fans could stop complaining about him rigging the league in the United States' favor. But I'd like to know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Do you think it would be good for the NHL for a Canadian hockey team to win it? Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one.